Guys, what is the secret sauce that people use to have, these insane Instagram followings and these great Instagram communities and building their own brand and all of that kind of stuff? It is called as content. You must have seen a lot of people say that, oh, you just have to make good content, just make good content. What is the one secret to getting more engagement and building a personal brand? It's supposed to be content, right? That is what Gary Vee says, that is what every other social influencer will tell you. But what does good content really mean? Have you ever thought that? What makes a content good? What makes a piece of content something to interact with? Well, in this video, guys, I'll be sharing with you this amazing strategy that I use to create these amazing pieces of content that people want to interact with, and that would actually lead to the page gaining more followers and more interactions. And so basically, this is called as the AIDA principle. This is something that I learned from Chris Du, who runs a YouTube channel called as The Future. I'll link the video in the description. But moving on to this video, this strategy is what makes your content engaging. This strategy is what makes your content great. You must have heard a lot of people say good content, make good content. This is what good content actually means. I'll be breaking it down piece by piece, what it really means and what you should be doing. And at the end, I'll be showing with you exactly what I make and what sort of content I have made, and just share with you exactly how this all system works, right? Let's get started. Now, the one piece of content that has actually been trending right now in Instagram in 2020 and also in LinkedIn and other social media platforms is called as a carousel. Carousel is basically multiple pictures in one post, right, guys? So this framework actually uses carousels to create better carousels, more engaging carousels for your engagement for your audience, right? So this is called as the AIDA principle, right? Let me explain that to you guys over here. AIDA principle is basically A stands for attention, I stands for interest, D stands for details, and A at the end stands for action. This, guys, is the framework that I want to explain to you guys. Number one thing is attention, right? This is actually going to be a 10-pick post. This is actually going to be a 10-pick post, guys. So basically, attention actually is like, what is it that makes people click on that post? How can you make it engaging and curious enough and actually intrigue that person to click on that particular post, right? Because when you look at the feed on the Explore page, it's basically like this, right? You have this post, you have this post, you have this post, and there are more posts, more posts. The first image, guys, the first image is something that people will see, will have the first impression of, and so you'll have to make sure that the first image is intriguing and catches the eye of the person that is scrolling, right? So this is called as attention, right? This is the first post that you'll have to make engaging and so that people will actually click on it. Alright, guys, now the next thing is called as interest. Interest is basically creating more curiosity in the mind of the person that is interacting with your post, and basically just keep them swiping and swiping. And the way that I like to do it is actually I ask a bunch of questions from the person that is swiping, right? Oh, have you actually experienced this? And is this something that is bothering you? Is this something that you are fed up about? And that person keeps on swiping and swiping. For me, this is actually around like three to four slides. This is how I like to do it, right? 3 for interest, and the next ones are for details, right? This is the mass of your actual post, right? This is where you'll give the most information to the person. This is why the person has actually clicked on that post. This is the main meat of your post, and you'll have to deliver that details spread out in around 5 posts. So this is how I like to do it. This is detail, 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 right? This is how I like to do it. And the last is called as action, or even this can be action, right? It depends on every single topic. So this is the kind of strategy that you should be using, guys, in your particular carousels to make it more engaging, to make people keep sliding, keep learning new stuff. Now the last thing is called as action, guys. What do you want that person to do? What do you want that person to do next after that person has gained information from you? What do you want that person to do for you, right? That is called as the action. That could be like for the last 1 or 2 pictures for the post, right? And you can just say that, oh, I want you to follow me, or I want you to share this with your audience, or I want you to comment in this post, whatever you want them to do, right? This is how I like to do it, right? Now you have to spread it out as much as possible, right? Design is basically like what? If you have one post, if you have one picture, you have to write as less things as possible and convey as much information as possible in that post, right, guys? So yeah, this is a strategy that I have used Now I'll be showing you some examples of the posts that I have made myself, and that way you'll get more in-depth knowledge about what sort of content you should be making. Alright guys, now let me actually show you practical examples of how I have used this AIDA technique to make the post more appealing and more engaging and all of that, right? Let me show you an example. So this is a great example, as you guys can see, for a first picture of your carousel, right? This engages people. This is asking, who, why, how, very abstract terms, right? This is what gets people to click on that, right? So yeah, I use this first thing, and let me show you an example of building up interest. And the second part, this is called as interest. I'm trying to relate with that person. I'm trying to give them a reason to keep sliding on, right? Like, as you guys can see, that I'm telling them that I completely understand it's really hard to find good resources, and so this is our list for learning JavaScript as a beginner, right? And then I move on to explaining them exactly what these are. By the way, guys, you should definitely follow DevSoc Bits Goa, and yeah, do follow. You will be getting some great content if you're a developer. But anyways, so this is the kind of content, and this is the detail, right? This is the actual meat of your carousel deck. As you guys can see, I'm giving them the exactly thing. I'm also giving them highly recommended, and I'm making it visually appealing, and it has to look good. It doesn't have to have a lot of cluttered text. That is something a lot of people do. They put in a lot of text, they make it look not good. And let me give you another example of what I mean by this, right? This is a pretty good example of a first picture of your carousel deck. This is arousing emotion for that person, and that is how they click on your particular post and start to engage with it, right? And again, here I'm trying to relate with that person, what is their problem, and then I start to say that I'll help you out with this, and this is what you should be doing, right? And then I specify what they should be doing, right? Yeah, so this is what I wanted you guys to understand. And yeah, as you guys can see, this, so yes, this is called as the call to action. I want them to follow me, I want them to like, I want them to leave a comment, and I want them to share it with their friends. And also you can save for later if that is something that you want to do. Alright guys, so that was my content strategy. That is how I create my carousels and my slide decks. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be making more videos talking about content and how should you schedule content, and a lot more in this category. So if that is something that you're excited about, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and let me know what sort of content are you producing on Instagram in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching till the very end, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.